Hello dear student, I am Ghulam Shabir khashkheli, Assistant Professor in Zoology at Government Boys Degree College, Shahdadpur. Today our topic is Respiratory System in Frog. Chapter number 13 named Gases Exchange. So we are discussing about respiratory system in frog, but some information about frog we must know before discussing the respiratory system. Frog is actually amphibian vertebrate, and frog lives in water as well as on land. Means it lives both modes of life, means dual mode of life, that is aquatic as well as terrestrial. So it has two adaptations, that it lives in water as well as on land. But our topic is respiratory system, so we see that how it respire in water as well as on land. The larva of frogs live in water. They live totally in water. They do not come on land till they are larva. Larva uses gills for gaseous exchange or for respiration. But when the larva becomes adult, it is transited on land. It respires through specialized respiratory organs called lungs. But before discussing lungs, we should know that there are three ways or three methods of respiration in frog. One through lungs as terrestrial adaptation, that is called pulmonary respiration. I have written here pulmonary respiration, and majorly it respires through entire skin surface, that is cutaneous respiration. So I have written the second one, cutaneous respiration, and also it respires through the inner lining of buccopharyngeal region, that is called buccopharyngeal respiration. First we have to discuss the terrestrial adaptation, means lungs. Actually lungs in frog are formed by a lower pharyngeal region. They are formed in pairs and they are become highly vascularized. Actually they are pharyngeal outgrowths, lower pharyngeal paired vascularized outgrowths. Lungs of frogs are balloon shaped. Now see that how this frog respire through lungs. So we have to see the mechanism. We have to understand the mechanism of breathing of frog. Now you see, from breathing point of view, frog uses positive pressure. Means it is positive pressure breather. How it's a positive pressure breather? We have to discuss this. First, you know that frog has these external openings, nostrils. When nostrils are open, two things are closed. Mouth is closed, and glottis as a wall between buccal cavity and the lungs. This glottis is closed. When air enters into the buccal cavity, a buccopharyngeal region, the mouth and glottis are closed. What happens? That the floor of the buccopharyngeal region lowers down. So the air pressure increases here. Now now it becomes lower down, and what happens that then the nostrils and mouth remain closed, glottis is opened, and this pharyngeal floor is raised again its original position, and due to this the glottis become open, air from buccal cavity rushes or moves to the lungs. We have seen here that similar effect of moving air is produced here. First air entered into the buccopharyngeal region, then similar effect is applied that this air is pushed into the lungs. That's why it's a positive pressure breather. And same way, during this inspiration, we have seen that how air rushes into the buccopharyngeal region and then into the lungs. In the same way, during the expiration, that when lungs are filled with air, the abdominal pressure is exerted over the lungs and glottis remain opened, but nostrils now become open, mouth again closed. The air same way, first from lungs into the buccopharyngeal region, then glottis is closed, and we have seen that the buccopharyngeal floor is raised and nostrils become open and air is moved outside into the environment. So this is the breathing mechanism in frog, that how air enters into the lungs and how air moves out from the lungs. So both we have discussed inspiration as well as expiration in frog. Now you see that lungs are connected outside environment through a tube system. First tube-like structure which arises from the lungs are called the bronchi, and bronchi enters into the larynx, and larynx through glottis, the larynx opens into buccal cavity, and this is actually a pathway for, or you may say, passage of air flow both inside the lungs and outside of the lungs. Now you see that pathway we have discussed from lungs to bronchi is tube-like system, and then into the larynx, which is also called as sound box in frogs, and then through this opening glottis air passes into the buccal cavity, and from buccal cavity outside into the environment through external openings called nostrils. But one thing we should know, that lungs which are balloon shaped but have many internal sac-like structure which are very shallow. I have written here that they are internal shallow sac-like foldings which help to increase the surface area for gaseous exchange. These are sac-like structure called the alveoli. Actual respiratory surfaces in frog are alveoli, sac-like structures inside the lungs, where these alveoli are richly supplied with blood capillaries and blood. They are thin, they are weight, so gaseous exchange takes place between blood and environment over here. Alveoli are air sacs. Now, if we see that in the first beginning of my lecture I discussed that there are three methods the frog uses for respiration or gaseous exchange. One we have discussed as a terrestrial mode of life, it uses lungs. We have detailed about the lungs, their structure, their passage of air, that how it goes inside the lungs and how it goes outside lungs. What is the pathway? Actually, the pathway it uses, that is double way pathway, means ventilation is single, double way pathway. It very simply means that the air goes to the lungs by the through the same path, and it goes out from the lungs using the same path. So that's why it's ventilation is a single, I mean it uses two-way path for during breathing. Now you see that we have also discussed the mechanism of respiration and frog, and next is that frog also uses its skin, skin, I mean to say cutaneous respiration. It's a major type of respiration in frog. That frog uses skin which is highly vascularized, because it is thin and highly vascularized, richly supplied with blood and blood capillaries, and also skin possesses some mucus glands which secrete mucus, and mucus trap water to keep the skin wet for easily diffusion of oxygen from dissolved water, oxygen that is dissolved in water, so diffuses easily through the skin surface. It uses entire skin surface for gaseous exchange or for respiration, and this is called cutaneous respiration. I already told you the third type of respiration in frog is internal buccal and pharyngeal lining of buccal and pharyngeal region. They are also thin, vascularized, so it also exchange the gases here. So it means it's called buccopharyngeal respiration. So overall we have seen that frog, which is amphibian, and it lives in water, mostly in water or near by water, but sometimes when it comes on land, so it respires through mainly lungs, but mostly it lives in water. That's why our moist places, that's why it uses majorly skin. Means cutaneous is a major respiratory structure or respiratory organ in a frog. So that's all about the respiratory system in frog. Thank you very much.